Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to a late night edition here for Game Over Winnipeg's post-game show from tonight's game between the Winnipeg Jets and the New York Islanders. My name is Ty Dilello, and I'm the host here at Game Over Winnipeg. And yeah, a little bit of a later start than usual, so my apologies for that. But we are here now, and if you're still up, happy to chat about the hockey game tonight. So the Winnipeg Jets were 4-3 victors tonight over the New York Islanders. It was the Jets' eighth straight victory, eighth in a row. So we're kind of going into the Four Nations break now on a pretty good hot streak, and I don't think that the players necessarily wanted the game to end, or wanted this break, because when a team's playing so well, and there's gonna be a tweak break, like the momentum that they've had is kind of gonna go by the wayside. So they don't like it, but that's just how the schedule is. But 8 in a row feels pretty good. So before I go into that, just wanted to mention our title sponsor, Hyperdrive Hockey. Check out the flagship show of the Game Over Network on the Game Over Network channel, Hyperdrive Hockey, which is all things hockey across various leagues in multiple countries. Whatever it is and wherever it is, Max, Daphne, and Kev have you covered for all of your hockey news with a steady dose of fun and fan engagement. You can find Hyperdrive Hockey on the Game Over Network YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts on the Hyperdrive Hockey page over at thegameovernetwork.com. So another big win for the Jets. Obviously, it wasn't their best 60 minutes tonight, against New York Islanders, but did enough and capitalized on enough chances, to pick up another 2 points, in a game that the Jets trailed, 2-1 after the first period, before they really exploded with 3 goals in the second, and then New York scored 1 back in the third, and it was 4-3. So Simon Holmstrom for New York, who's been a really good story this year on an entry-level contract. He scored his 14th goal of the year. He's been a really good player for New York on a team that hasn't really had a lot of shining lights this year. So he opened the scoring. That was only about a minute into the game. A couple minutes after that, Alex Iafallo scored his 8th goal of the year for the Jets. A keynote on that, it was assisted by Brad Lambert, who picked up his first assist of the season, in a very limited role for him, a limited game tonight. Good for Brad Lambert to get a point. He still doesn't have a goal yet in the NHL. Islanders scored after that. About 12 minutes into the period, Mark Gatcomb, who I never really heard of until tonight, scored to make it 2-1. And then the second period, it was the Macarena show with Gabriel Velarde. Gabe Velarde scored twice in the period. He scored the 2-2 goal. And then Nikolai Ehlers scored off a beautiful feed from Cole Perfetti to make it 3-2. And then Gabe Velarde scored again to make it 4-2. So Gabe Velarde is now at 24 goals on the year. Ehlers, that was his 17th goal of the season. In the third period, Kyle Palmieri got one back about midway through the third period. And then with the goalie pulled, the Islanders weren't able to get the tying goal. The Jets weren't able to score an empty netter. And the game ended 4-3 in the Jets' favor. Kind of felt it was a really good night from Connor Hellebuck tonight. He faced a decent amount of rubber. I believe the New York Islanders outshot the Jets about 35-27 tonight. And Connor Hellebuck was Connor Vezina Buck tonight. He made 32 saves to pick up the victory. Like we said, 8 wins in a row for the Jets. It's awesome. It's great to be a Winnipeg Jets fan right now. Looking at the standings here, the Jets are now at 39, 14, and 3, which is 81 points. In the standings, that's 12 points up on Dallas, the closest team to them in the Central Division race. The Jets are really kind of pulling away for the division, also for the conference. They're now 9 points up on Edmonton for first in the conference, and also 2 points up on the Washington Capitals for the President's Trophy race. This has been a dream regular season for the Jets. That's 39 wins in 56 games. It's just so impressive, and we don't want it to stop. We want to go on a deep playoff run, and we just want to keep this train going as long as we can bring it. My man Brendan Labarre in the chat. Brendan Labarre is our other Game Over Winnipeg host. He kind of takes over when I'm away, curling, at my curling events or otherwise. He does a really good job with his shows. Brendan says, Ty, what did you think of Perfetti's pass to Ehlers? So if you didn't see it, it was kind of one of those Perfetti, kind of shifting behind the net with the puck. He does kind of a no-look, pass, backhand, and goes right onto Nikolai Ehlers' stick in the slot, who fires it home. It was obviously, Brandon, it was a gorgeous pass by Cole Perfetti. A player who historically, if you watch this show a lot, you would know that I'm not a particularly big, Cole Perfetti fan, kind of rightfully so. But it was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous pass. And that's kind of been Cole Perfetti as of late. Not just it's not like he's just been a one-trick pony with that pass. Cole Perfetti has been a key contributor to the Jets, lineup ever since Adam Lowry kind of went down with that injury. The line of Perfetti, Nemesnikov, Ehlers has been very impressive. They've been really good. They've been great drivers of offense. They're not really giving up a lot. 5-on-5 together. That power play too with Perfetti and Nemesnikov on that. They've been really good. They've been scoring. They've been certainly scoring their fair share of goals and points. So it's been really good. Our offense has been spread out. Over the stretch since Lowry's out, which has been impressive, because there was a good stretch of time during the I would say the middle half of the season where the Jets were winning games, but it was because the Jets were scoring strictly from Connor, Shafley, and Velarde, the first line, and the goals weren't really coming from other lines. So these eight wins are very awesome, and a lot of it comes from the fact that our scoring's been distributed through all four lines. In these wins, everyone kind of has a piece of this winning streak, so it's got to make all the players feel good. It's a really good. It's all good. It's all good. I'll say that. So, with that, I guess I'll move in. I'll do another ad read here, and we'll go in. We'll talk about Gabriel Velarde in the second segment, because he's one hell of a hockey player. LaRouche, Game Over Network is an independent production focused on community, inclusion, and quality people. If you are interested in supporting the Game Over Network, we have crowdfunding options available. In the description of this episode, you'll find a link to our Patreon page, and we're also working on a page through LaRouche, which is a crowdfunding platform for companies originating in Quebec. For LaRouche, we're aiming to raise $15,000, and if we hit that goal, then we'll gain access to government grants that will allow us to employ more people, hopefully. So if you have any ideas for what you'd like to see as giveaways from these crowdfunding efforts, please let us know in the comments, on Twitter, Instagram, our Discord server, or on the Blue Sky app, which is kind of the new Twitter. A lot of our hosts from Game Over have kind of migrated over there, to talk hockey, to promote Game Over. It's great, so please check us out. And also, if you're watching, just please comment, just say hello, say I have a question or a comment about the game. I don't really, I'm kind of used to talking to myself here, but I don't really like it. I'm happy to go back and forth with somebody if you're out there. So yeah, we appreciate all the comments, that we get. Yeah. Okay. Gabriel Velarde tonight. And kind of Gabriel Velarde as a whole on the season. The Jets are really lucky to have the Italian stallion, Gabriel Velarde on this team, because um, he brings so much. He's kind of the perfect, complementary piece to go on a line with Connor and Scheifele. Yes, you might want someone with a little bit more sandpaper to their game. But I think Velarde really meshes well. They have really good chemistry. Wish Connor and Scheifele, they really kind of feed off of each other. So it's really been fun to see. Gabe Velarde, having a healthy season. He hasn't had a fully healthy season in God knows how long. So knock on wood, it stays that way. He stays injury free, but. Another 2 goals tonight. That moves him up to 24 goals and 27 assists on the year. That's 51 points in 56 games. He's nearly a point per game player. And I've been noticing these last 10 to 15 games. He's really. I don't want to say like he's a full-on driver of the play. That some of his line mates are, but he's been playing. He's been driving play. I want to see it over a longer, period than just these 10 games. But he's really, you're seeing a lot more confidence with him on the puck. He's really, weaving in and out, finding those open lanes, getting passes through. He's making good passes. He's also getting those good shots off. We know how good he is in front of the net, obviously, but he's also shown that he can shoot the puck too. As we saw with that goal, the 4-2 goal. For sure, he was a snipe, bar down pretty much. So Gabriel Velarde has been, exceptional this year. And obviously he's getting those cookies and stuff playing on the top line, but I just think he's really kind of doing his role. He's doing what's been asked of him, and he's definitely due for, a pay increase. I believe he's making around $3.5 million this year. He will be an RFA at the end of this season, and I'm really curious to see what it's gonna take to sign him long term. I think they did bridge him. When the Jets first acquired him in the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. I think that he's not going to be getting a bridge deal this time. I think that he's going to get paid. And hopefully it's a deal that buys, some UFA years. I think he's an RFA for another 2 years. I could be wrong, actually, but I believe that's the case. Hopefully he signs. I would sign him to the max if possible. I think he could try to sign him for 7-8 years. It's just going to come down to how much. We know the cap's going to go up. We know that the Jets have some other players to sign. This offseason, they really want to get Nikolai Ehlers re-signed. They really want to get Neil Pionk re-signed. Dylan Sandberg, I believe, is going to be an RFA. He's going to, require a lot of money because he's been dynamic too. He's been our second best defenseman, I would say, this year. So there's a lot of money that needs to kind of be spread around for the Jets, and are the Jets going to spend all the way to the upper limits of the cap still? With the cap going up, we will see. I guess, what do you guys think? If anyone's watching, what do you think Gabriel Velarde will, sign for with the Jets? I think the Jets organization, the Shovel Day Off, I think they understand what they have in him. I think that this is a player that, on the open market, could be an $8-9 million signing, for 7-8 years. Obviously, he's not going to be on the open market. He is an RFA. But I still think the Jets should be signing him accordingly. I think the number at bare minimum to sign him for, anything longer than a couple of years would start at least $6.5 million a year, and it could be anywhere between $6.5 to $8 million. I would say. I don't think the Jets will go above what Hellebuck and Scheifele signed for, or even just under that. I assume all their contracts they sign will be under that. The one exception I would say to that will be Kyle Connor needs a new contract in 1 year's time. He is a UFA at the end of next year. And he will be getting a significant pay increase to the $7.145 million that he currently makes. If you watched Frank Saravelli's recent show on Daily Faceoff, they had a really good segment on the Winnipeg Jets, and him and his co-host Jason Greger talked kind of ad nauseum about Kyle Connor's next potential, what it's going to be, and if Kyle Connor's a superstar. Saravelli was saying that the number probably starts at $10-11 million. I think, and then his host Jason Greger kind of pumped the brakes a little bit on that, or threw a little bit of cold water on it. But you're kind of already seeing that it's going to be a very, very expensive next summer or next season trying to re-sign Kyle Connor, and what that number is going to be. And we know what Kyle Connor is. We know he's having a really good year. We know he's kind of one-dimensional in some aspects, but he's also seems to be getting a little bit better right now as he nears 30 years old. How old is Kyle Connor? 28. So he's only 28 right now, but his next contract's going to be his big ticket. And it's going to be expensive if the Jets want to keep him, no doubt. And who knows if he wants to stay here anyways. He is a Michigan boy, U.S. boy, and we've had our issues keeping American players in the past. Kyle Connor has certainly given a lot to this team over the 10 years or so that he's been in the organization. So anyways, we'll kick that can down the road for another day. But yeah, back to Vilardi. I'm just very curious what he's going to be re-signing for. Obviously, he's going to be sticking with this team. I think he really likes it here. I think that Gabriel Vilardi knows that he has a really, really, really nice role here with the Winnipeg Jets that he wouldn't be having, in a lot of other places. And the fact that he's playing for the NHL's top team, I think he wants to stay. And I think that he knows that he's going to be cemented, to Connor and Scheifele, at least, Mark Scheifele for a long time now. So let's just see what happens. Let's see where we go from here, and just hopefully Vilardi can continue this strong play this season and stay healthy, man. We really like him to see it play an 82-game season and a long playoff run, because I think he can continue to put up some really strong numbers, for the squad. So with that, we'll do another quick ad read, and then we'll go to the next segment of the show here. Just load it up. Yeah, so game on Winnipeg. Game over has you covered after the game, but in order to get ready to watch the Jets, you've got to get your game on too. So Game On Winnipeg is a short-form daily news podcast covering everything you need to know about the Winnipeg Jets, debuting probably next season or for the playoffs. Look for us around the playoff time. Game On Winnipeg will be a short-form daily news podcast covering everything you need to know about the Winnipeg Jets in under 10 minutes, Monday through Friday on the Game Over Winnipeg YouTube channel, and in podcast form, which you can find at thegameovernetwork.com/pages/Winnipeg. I think that'll be great when it does come out. I've been doing this ad read every goddamn game this year, and we thought that we'd have Game On by now, but we don't. My apologies for that, but when it does launch, I think you'll like kind of what you're seeing, because there's so many different ways of like getting in your hockey news, your hockey media. People like to listen to podcasts, some people like to scroll tweets, some people like to watch video. So like these small 5-10 minute videos kind of gives you quick hits about what's kind of going on with your team, what's going on with the league. I think it'll be really good once we get going. So please check that out when it does. Okay, we're going to slowly kind of get on the decline now as we, get to there's not many people watching tonight, as per usual. But Pelly Lindbergh in the chat says, thoughts on Lambert, big to get an assist, but didn't play a lot. So Brad Lambert has been kind of called up with the team, for the last 5 or 6 games, I believe. Brad Lambert has been called up for, but he was a healthy scratch every single game. Parker Ford, I believe, got into 4 games. He scored his first NHL goal in Boston by his hometown, which was great. And then, yeah, Parker Ford was playing on the fourth line with Alex Iafallo and David Gustafson. So, Scott Arniel, before this game said he just wanted to get Brad in a game, get him some reps, playing in the NHL. And I guess that's what happened tonight. Brad Lambert didn't see a ton of. Obviously, the fourth line doesn't play a lot anyway. Brad Lambert was playing right wing with Alex Iafallo and David Gustafson. Things started off amazing for Lambert. He got an assist, secondary assist on the Alex Iafallo goal. That was Brad Lambert's first point of the season. That's his fifth game, so 1 point in 5 games so far. Still missing his first NHL goal, which we're all waiting for. But yeah, he played 8 shifts tonight. The lowest on the team by quite a bit. He played 7 minutes and 6 seconds in those 8 shifts. The next closest to him was David Gustafson, who played 8 minutes and 33 seconds on 12 shifts. And I don't believe Brad Lambert had any special teams. He wasn't PP1, PP2, PK1, or PK2 tonight. No shots, no blocks, no hits. And he didn't take any face-offs tonight either. So, he got on the ice. It looked like he made a few. He attempted to make a few plays. There just wasn't a ton out for him, opportunity-wise tonight. After that Iafallo goal, there wasn't a lot of. He only had 8 shifts, so we didn't see a ton of him on the ice tonight. He looked okay. He looked like a guy who hadn't. I wouldn't say he looked like, you obviously tell he's speedy and he's shifty, he can make plays, but you can't really expect Brad Lambert to, put up points and score and stuff on that kind of fourth line role like that. So, was very pleased to see him get an assist. I had him on my fantasy hockey team tonight, and it was, he got people an assist where he was already on the bench for, I believe. It was a kind of a play where Alex Iafallo kind of did all the work and got the goal, and Brad Lambert just happened to make a pass, or the puck hit him, on the way up the ice, and he got an assist. So I would assume that Brad Lambert will get sent down. He will get sent down back to the Moose during this break. And I assume Parker Ford will as well. Get these guys some more games, and then we'll see about Morgan Barron. I believe he was week to week. I know Lowry was week to week. We'll just kind of see where they are at injury wise. After these 2 weeks are up, and then if there's more, if these players are still injured, obviously I want to see Brad Lambert still keep playing. I want Brad Lambert to play as many games as possible this year. For the Jets. So hopefully he gets into some more action. I would like to see Nikita Chibrikov be playing some games too, but sadly he had, a season-ending injury to Nikita Chibrikov. So, that hurts. We obviously saw what he could do on his limited time so far with the Jets. He looked great. I think the next guy up. And then Elias Salamonson on defense, who I think a lot of Jets fans and the organization is kind of excited to see what we have in this young defenseman. He's almost leapfrogging Brad as our top prospect. If you look at some of the athletic rankings and whatnot, there's a lot of hype for Elias Salamonson. So we'd like to see him get into a couple games too at some point this year before the playoffs. Gonna get his feet wet in the NHL, because next season we're definitely going to need some entry-level contracts playing in the NHL. When you look at the cap, and when you look at building up your roster, and if Elias Salamonson can come in and play on the third line defense next year, and if Brad Lambert can play in the top 6 for the Jets next year, God forbid Nikolai Ehlers is moved or doesn't resign. You need entry-level contracts on Stanley Cup teams. It's just facts. So we need some of these guys to step up and play roles for this team, by next season. So we'll see about that. So let's go to the overtime. Now we'll throw up the merch. We're winding things down. If you're in the chat, please comment. Please let me know you're watching. I'm not just talking to myself. In the meantime, I will do one more ad read. So yeah, what better way to support something you love than by rocking it as clothing? Game Over's apparel line has dropped with 3 unique designs. Whether you feel the nostalgic pull of our retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design currently on sale, want to wear your love for goalies proudly with our live and die by the goalie design, or if you just need another coffee to get you through the winter, we got you covered. So check out the QR code that's on the screen now. Take a look through our apparel store. We got some nice stuff on here. And help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. So I'll leave that up for a second here. If you, like I said, scan the QR code, it goes to our shop. You also go to our the Game Over website. You can get a link to the store from there. Yeah, if there's anybody in the chat, if you have any questions, this is the time now to do it. We are in overtime. I realize that nobody's watching this right now. I know that it's 12:45 in Winnipeg right now, and the game's been over for a few hours, but if you are out there, I'll leave it up for a minute or so. I'm back. So now the Jets, 2-week break. Today's February 8th. The Jets are in action again. I believe, let's see, February 22nd. That's a Saturday. That's a road game at 6 o'clock against the St. Louis Blues. So, yeah, about a 13-day break in between games. Obviously, the Four Nations Cup is going to be on. That's going to be exciting, I guess. As of right now, we have 3 Winnipeg Jets participating in that. Josh Morrissey will be on Team Canada. You can watch him, and then on Team USA, you got the Connors. Connor Hellebuck will be tending goal for USA, and Kyle Connor will be hopefully sniping goals for Team USA. I believe Mark Scheifele, from what it sounds like, he is the first replacement for Team Canada if there's an injury to the forward group. A lot of question marks right now surrounding Sidney Crosby and his potential availability for the Four Nations Cup. I think he's dealing with an injury. He's was skating in practice and whatnot. Did he play tonight? I believe Pittsburgh played tonight. Yeah, they played the Rangers. And Crosby didn't play. So are they just resting him for Four Nations, or is he injured enough that he can't play? I'm not sure. Scheifele could be he's a centerman too, so God forbid something happens to Crosby. Mark Scheifele, I think, could slot in there anywhere. He's the second in the NHL in goals this season, and he should be on Team Canada. So we're done. We're out of here. With that being said, we'll see you guys on February 22nd. Yeah, Blues Jets will be fun. 8 games in a row right now. Feels good to be a Jets fan. And yeah, see you in 2 weeks, guys. Take care.